it's Amy. So I wanted to make a video and talk about a couple of things. I wanted to apologize for my contradiction in videos in the last two videos that I made. The first one I made was called Update Chit Chat, and in that I talked about saying that it's okay to have a food item and give in every once in a while so that you don't build up that, oh no, I can't have it, I can't have it, I can't have it, and psychologically deprive yourself. And then, oh, you explode and you binge, and then you make it even worse because you know after you stop that binge, it's not going to happen again. Okay, wrong, wrong, wrong. Then I went and made this video about sugar substitutes, which I stand by. That was a correct video. It was all an educated video. It is true and correct that when you take in glucose, taking glucose, what your body does is it craves more glucose, because it's the easiest thing for our body to break down and use as calories. So I knew by eating any type of sugars, candies, anything with sweets, sugar, carbohydrates, it's just going to want more and more. So it kind of was a contradiction in videos. So I'm here to apologize for that. I was playing surgical mind games with myself, and this is what I want to talk about. Sorry if this camera's shaky. I switched locations. How about that? I'm in my sunroom, so I think you have a view of maybe some of my backyard and maybe some of the sunroom. There's an old treadmill back there that doesn't work. Anybody know anything about treadmills and can fix it for me? I could give up my gym membership. Anyhow, totally off subject. This is what I love about YouTube. I have not only gained and gotten a tremendous amount of support from people out there going through the same type of journey that I'm going through, which is absolutely wonderful. To have all this support, those people who support me and know what I'm going through, and people I can ask questions to. Because again, thank you to all those people who answered my questions about dietary fiber and carbohydrates, and that was wonderful to get some feedback on that. I absolutely thank you so much. But there are also people who are out there who are willing to give you constructive criticism. I had that happen to me recently on one of my videos, my update chit chat video, in regards to permissive eating, the meaning that psychological mind game saying that it's okay to have something a little bit so that you don't want it more. Wrong. I was so wrong. Anyhow, so I had a nice YouTuber, and this was so, and let me preface this by saying it was not done with ill regard. It wasn't done meanly. It wasn't done maliciously. It was done with constructive criticism, with facts. It was done with, all in good nature, and I appreciated it. I really, really did. I want people who were willing to step up and say, you know what, you might be wrong, and I don't mind that as long as it's done with some integrity. Oh, you might hear my sprinklers just came on. And this gentleman did that. His name is Andrew. Andrew, thank you so, so much. Bandola, as he is known on YouTube, Bandahola. I hope I pronounced that right. That's the way it looks like it should be pronounced to me. Sorry, Andrew, if it's not. Anyhow, so I thank you, Andrew. And what he did was he private messaged me, and he was polite enough, and he said, I just have to disagree with you on your beliefs of permissive eating. And he's the one that termed it permissive eating. I think it's a great term because it's exactly what it is. You're giving yourself permission to do something I know I shouldn't have been doing. Anyhow, so he brought it up. It was a conversation. He gave me some good links, and he gave me a book I can read. It was really, I was very grateful. And I told him in our conversation, I messaged him back and said, you know what? I read this email after I got out of class one night, and my first instinct and gut reaction was to say, thank you. I respect your thoughts and beliefs, but let's just agree to disagree. But I had a whole hour ride home to think about it, and I did. I thought about it. I gave it some real good thought. And then I came to this realization, oh my goodness, he's totally right. He is totally right. It was worded so well, and it was constructive criticism. He was calling me out, though. He was telling me, really, it's not right. I'm not that it's not right. That he was just, I don't want to make him seem bad because he was wonderful. I should have had the email so I could have read from the email, but I'm outside. I should have printed it. Sorry. Anyways, it was grateful. I was very grateful to him because I sat and I thought about it. I was just playing a psychological mind game with myself. I was trying to do anything and everything in my mind power to convince myself that what I was doing was okay, and it's not. Here's why. That was my contradiction. Here's my confession. And I want you to understand, I try to be as honest and fruitful as I possibly can in these videos. I was honest when I made that video. That's what I thought at the time. I was being honest with myself, even though I wasn't. It was a psychological mind game. My confession is, I did admit to having that cookie and that cake. Shortly after that video, I had crackers. I had some potatoes, which I totally do not crave, do not want, do not have any, like, but I was like, oh, I got away with eating that and I'm okay, and I got away with eating that and I'm okay. That's not a good way to think. Just because you quote unquote got away with it, you didn't. I know from my education that it takes anywhere from 48 to 72 hours for all your chemical reactions of intake and output to carry through. So you didn't get away with anything, Amy. It just, you haven't shown it up yet. And guess what? It showed up. I gained some pounds back. And that was not happy. I was so dissatisfied with that. I was upset with myself. I have been working so hard pre-op to lose this weight so that I can have this surgery to help me long term. I need to be able to stick to my grounds, stick to my guns, and be on top of it pre-op so that I can have the best outcome post-op. I am so disappointed that that was exactly what it was permissive eating. I was giving myself the okay, and it wasn't. It's not okay for me. It was wrong. I was so wrong. And I know I commented on a couple other people's videos saying, oh yeah, I think you're right, and and not that I'm saying that's right for everybody, but I think everybody maybe should take a step back and think about the permissive idea. And I know many people have post-op have stepped back and said, you gotta be able to step up and say no when it's no. And that's because these are bad habits I've created, and I don't want those bad habits. I want new habits, good habits, healthy habits. So here's the second or third part of my video I want to talk about. I'm here to confess to you today, and I don't know the date. It's like the 26th, I think, of April. I, Amy, am a food addict. And I'm laughing just because it's funny to say it, but it's in reality. I am. Thank you, Andrew, yet again. We were having a conversation about food addiction, and I did some more research on it. And you know what? Actually, it's one of the most under-researched things. It's just now starting to get more and more research and validity to it. Food addiction, that is. In conjunction with other addiction problems. But it is one thing I was not taught in any of my classes. We are taught about overeating. We are taught about binge eating. We are taught about bulimia, anorexia, other disorders, mental disorders, and such like that. But you know what? Food addiction isn't the word they give it. Food addiction isn't what they talk about. They don't talk about the signs. They don't talk about the symptoms. And I've taken several science classes. I'm a health science major. Anyhow, my point being is I went and did some thorough research on it, and I'm glad I did. I am a food addict. I always start at the National Institute of Health. That's the website I always go to. And I did several things of research. This WebMD, I'm not advocating going there all the time, but I do go there every now and then. They have a nice, concise article that puts it all down together in a nice, concise form. After I've read so many, it kind of puts it all together. And about food addiction. I'm just asking everybody who thinks that they may do these things to think about it and maybe look it up. Food addiction, people who are addicted to food tend to display many of the characteristics of addicts and alcoholics. Food addicts develop a physical, mental, emotional craving and a chemical addiction to food. The characteristics of food addicts can include being obsessed or preoccupied with food. I think about it all the time. Having a lack of self-control when it comes to food. I am this weight because I do have a lack of self-control. Having a compulsive about food in which eating results in a cycle of binge despite negative consequences. Having a need to eat which results in physical craving. So, these are the signs that you might be a food addict. Having tried and failed to control eating. Yes, I am this weight and I have tried several diets and I always fail. Well, I succeed, but in the long term I fail. Do I find myself hiding food or secretly binging? Now, here's the thing, I never qualified myself as a binge eater. I secretly eat. And it's probably binging. I just ignored it. I didn't want to give it that term because it has such a negative connotation. I need that negative connotation now. I need to learn it's bad. I need to know why I do it, what to do to not do it anymore. For me, my secret eating was everybody went to go to bed and I would stay up and do whatever I wanted to do, like watch TV, do some research, do some research on the computer, read. But in doing that, I would stay up and eat, and I would eat whatever I wanted because there was nobody there to watch me. So yes, I secretly ate, and I probably binged. I did binge. I say probably because I'm just trying to find another way out of it. I did. Do you have feelings of guilt or remorse after eating? Do I eat because of emotions? Is my weight affecting my life? Oh, yes. Anyhow, this is good. Just a little concise reading about it. But I really wanted to share this. National Institute of Health I went to, Attempting Food Addiction. This is an article that just was put out on April 4th. And I liked it because what it talks about is that now they actually find a link between psychological and the biological connection to food addiction. So it says it's the first time scientists have seen clues that certain people may have food addictions similar to substance dependence, especially since both drugs and food trigger the release of dopamine. Hello! Big eye-opener for me. So you crave these foods, you eat them, and you feel good. You feel good because you got this wonderful release of dopamine. And you know what? Dopamine makes us feel wonderful. So what happens when you feel wonderful? You want to feel wonderful again. What do? You eat some more because you want to feel wonderful again. So it's this psychological and biological effect of eating. Ah, ding! Anyhow, so this is a good article. It's Compulsive Eaters May Have Food Addiction Study Finds, and it's exposure to food cues might trigger some brain reward circuitry involved in drug and alcohol addiction. And the article goes on to say that basically there's a malfunction in our reward system, well, not our, but my reward system. There's just a little miswiring there. And it's kind of reassuring to understand that now, and I'm glad I do. And I'm glad I researched it. So again, thank you, Andrew, for having that conversation with me and bringing me to the point where I wanted to look it up and research it and coming to the terms with it. Because you know what? I want to do everything I can pre-op to better what I can do post-op. And I need to change my habits. I need to come to this realization so that I can make a plan, I can